Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to more Rocket League news, and certainly not the news episode I'd like to be sharing with all of you. Actually, breaking news just as a few moments ago, but of course, have to put this video together for all of you. Unfortunately enough, it will be Flipside Tactics of all teams out there to release the remaining members, that of course being Mystic, and their longtime member ever since 2015, that being Cookser, and the end of the Flipside era does reign true today. Now, also on top of this, it does seem to me, a fair assumption out there, is actually a lack of financial stability to actually afford these guys. Their spot will retain with the players for RLCS season, and I assume they will have a third player for that. They will keep that spot, and I keep my hopes up for this. Although it is the end of an era, and you look at their successes together, it does seem financial instability has to be the reason these guys are dropped, especially because as of the last month, exactly pretty much a month ago, they won WSOE4 with speed in that roster and looking pretty good. It's just very, very sad to see a lot of organizations out there have to be forced to make these kind of decisions as it was finalized today. So you guys can leave a comment down below what you think about this. We look back what they've all done together, especially in just the past 2 years, year and a half alone. RLCS Season 5 top 6, their miracle run, you could admit a semi-miracle run, their top 3 performance at our last RLCS championship, and of course winning WSOE, a team that was actually apart from all this legacy, right? Ever since Cookser did join nearly 4 years ago, you would say they would actually at a high point, especially with Speed joining the roster, and so it's very sad to see now of all times to have them be released. So I would assume they couldn't afford to keep these guys in action. They couldn't afford to actually buy out a potential third player to join this trio if it was going to be Speed, if it was going to be someone else, and that is why Flipside Tactics, they have actually let their RLCS spot go. It will go to the players, so I have high hopes for these guys, and definitely in terms of overall placements, I do expect them to be signed, especially because they retain that RLCS spot. Even more so, I'm actually very excited to see who signs these guys. You know, could it be a Fnatic? Could it be another organization out there to jump back into Rocket League? But all in all, just very sad news to come to us today. But let's not be too sad. I really do think these guys will be signed. They have so much potential with Speed on that roster if they do retain him. I think a lot of us have the ever-lingering question, will they keep Speed, you know, or will some ex-Fnatic guys come back into the mix, right? I think I would love to see that little trio kind of perform together if they could. Alongside that, though, if you guys are not here for just Flipside news, we do have some other news out there as well. A bit happier, actually some lead-ons for some other stories out there I did cover a couple days ago, that being Team Afterthought. If you guys did not watch that video I did publish about them, they are a potential RLCS team. Actually, 2 of their members had allegedly at first we thought kicked a member known as Shock. It was Hawkser and Mist who had kicked Shock. More information did come out thanks to Rush Hour. I will link that full Twitch clip down below for all of you guys. It was actually Shock's older brother who is Team Afterthought's manager, clarifying a lot of things on the issue. So it will be Afterthought, their team, their brand, their logo, continuing on with Shock and his older brother being the manager. They will have a trio to compete for RLS signups. It was Hawkser and Mist technically at first kicking them, but technically it was actually Hawkser and Mist leaving the roster. So Afterthought will continue with Shock and his older brother managing that team. They will have a trio for qualifiers coming up here, or signups coming up here very soon. It will be Hawkser, Mist, and Fire to leave that team, and they will also compete for RS signups here sometime soon. So clarification on that story. I will also play you guys the quick clip as well.
Let's get to the meat of the conversation. You are the manager of Afterthought and also the brother of Shock. Can you maybe just describe in your own words who you are and what you're here today on the show to do?
Yeah, guys. So in-game name is MitsyVoX. You know, I am Shock's older brother.
So that's cool. So maybe now you heard Mist and you heard Shock both come on the show. Was there anything that you wanted to clear up or anything that you wanted to make a statement for or addressing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, and having them on, you know, it was just very emotion fueled. It was in the heat of the moment. It was that same day. So I kind of like to put a more professional perspective on everything. And I'd also like to clear up some misconceptions, especially a lot that I've been reading on Reddit and Twitter. The first being is that Afterthought follows Shock and I. So Hawkser and Mist didn't kick Shock from Afterthought, which a lot of people
just kind
thinking.
of like a it's the brand, kind of like Genesis, right? You guys made it, you own it, so it's coming with you.
Yeah, so the best way I can rephrase the situation is that Hawkser and Mist left Afterthought. So, you know, right now, so just to give a quick recap on the events. So Hawkser and Mist left Afterthought, as well as the Fire as the sub. They formed a new team with Roldiz called the Birds and the Bees. Mm-hmm. And then Hato and Ty Not Tyler joined Afterthought now. and Dino as the substitute. So that is the new Afterthought as of right now, and that's the only team that will be going by the name Afterthought.
Okay, well, thank you for clearing that up. That makes a lot of sense. If you work to get that logo and everything, you can keep it, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, so we actually just got a new logo design.
There was a lot of misinformation out there, so it's nice to see some maturity, hopefully, on both sides, and no one throwing too many pointing fingers as to who's wrong here. It seems that both sides will hopefully be happier the way it is. Now, also, very lastly, super tiny story out there. I don't cover many South American teams whatsoever, but I cannot wait to actually learn about them as we do approach the very first ever South American season, RLCS-wise, their first initial season. They're announcing many big organizations actually signing trios, the first of which being Esports. They are in several esports out there, especially known for their CSGO team as well. That's the first Brazilian org I've seen so far to sign a trio for the upcoming SAM, that being South American RLCS season. So as always, hope you guys all enjoy. Hopefully next time you guys see me as we slowly approach RLCS, I will be doing weekly breakdowns of that. I cannot wait, but until then, we wait in angst to see our final solidified rosters for RLCS. But as always, my name is Jake. Hope you guys all enjoy, and until next time, I'll see you then.